We are back with another news video, and it is the last news video before we do the preview for WrestleMania. With that being said, I don't want to undersell the fact that there was good stuff that came out of Supercard of Honor last night, as one of the best things that came out of Supercard of Honor last night was the Ring of Honor return of Nigel McGuinness. Nigel was let go from WWE last year when they shuffled around the announcers. Nigel was sent away, and Nigel just started, as far as I know, taking dates on the independents. And I mean, I think I remember. I think it was last year when Jericho was going against former Ring of Honor champions. I suggested the idea of Nigel coming back to Ring of Honor, but not as somebody to fight Jericho, just as somebody to defend the honor of Ring of Honor. Ironically enough. It's ironic when you phrase it like that, but I'm glad to see Nigel back in Ring of Honor. He is more than an asset and somebody that does have ties to the past for Ring of Honor. He is more than an asset to the company. He could be an announcer. He could be an authority figure. He could be a manager. He could be a coach. Which is what AEW calls agents. But he could be pretty much anything and be an asset to the company. So it was a very, very, very good get for AEW, for Tony Khan. And I am glad to see Nigel back in Ring of Honor. But now, speaking of somebody returning, Shinsuke Nakamura, who has been gone from WWE since November, last appeared in a wrestling ring in the early part of 2023 as one of the earliest challengers to Great Muta during his retirement tour. And to my knowledge, I believe he may have won against Great Muta. But there has been talk over the last couple of weeks that Triple H wants Nakamura to be gone for the time being, to be able to bring him back and give Nakamura the proper push that he deserves. Because everybody knows, or anybody that remembers the Black and Gold knows that Triple H is a bit of a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. So the idea of Shinsuke coming back and having the push that he deserves, or getting the push that he deserves, is music to, I think, everybody's ears, because I think also a lot of people realize that Nakamura is not going to be in wrestling forever. So WWE needs to take advantage of Nakamura being the asset to the company that he is, while they still have the opportunity to take advantage of that asset. Right now, according to reports, plans for a Nakamura return have been put on hold until after WrestleMania 39, which is not surprising, considering the fact that WrestleMania 39 is the focus for everyone and anyone in WWE. It is for the focus for everyone and anyone in WWE, and also, we've heard rumors for months at this point, or at least weeks at this point, what feels like months, of basically WWE having a number of surprises planned for both WrestleMania and post-WrestleMania. So it is something that WWE has us expecting, but I would say I hope that Shinsuke Nakamura gets the vignette treatment for his return, rather than just randomly, spontaneously returns, unless it is for a proper, something prim and proper. Because Nakamura deserves to be given the opportunity to be a top guy, and with the fact that a new title has been basically, commissioned by WWE, it is possible that Nakamura could be that top guy, but it depends on what WWE does with the world title, because the fact of the matter is WWE needs to figure out what they're going to do with the world title before they start promising that Nakamura is going to be a main eventer. But it is good to hear that they have plans for Nakamura to return following WrestleMania, and if Triple H has anything to say about it, Nakamura will be a big piece of the future of WWE. Speaking of the future of WWE, though, Logan Paul's contract is up after WrestleMania 39, and Logan Paul himself said he would be surprised if WWE doesn't renew because of the asset that he is to the company. Which, I mean, argumentatively, he is an asset, and him versus Seth Rollins should be one of the top matches of the night tonight or tomorrow, whenever they are set to collide. But speaking of an asset of WWE, Drew McIntyre, his contract is set to be expiring within the next year, as he is in the last year of his contract. And right now, WWE and Drew McIntyre are completely opposites as far as, I guess, monetarily, where they both are. So it is very strange to hear that McIntyre may not renew if him and WWE can't come to an agreement. Because McIntyre has been one of WWE's top stars over the last 4 years, and also since he returned to the company. He's been a top star, pretty much. So I do hope WWE and McIntyre can work something out, because much like Logan Paul is an asset, so is Drew McIntyre. Speaking of somebody that is not coming back, Enzo Amore was spontaneously released by MLW earlier today, and the surprise factor with that is that on April 8th, Enzo was ready to challenge for the World Championship. Enzo was ready to challenge Alex Hammerstone for the MLW World title at Battle Riot 5 on April 8th. And, I mean, right now, I don't know much about this other than the fact that MLW released him, according to Dave Meltzer. But when I know more, you will know more about this, because it is surprising that a week before his pay-per-view, a week before a world title shot, like exactly a week before he's supposed to get a world title shot, Enzo was gone from MLW. So, I mean, I wish nothing but the best for him and his future endeavors, but it is something. There's got to be more to this than what meets the eye. And I will let you guys know that when I get more information. But apparently, according to more information, Tony Khan's got another announcement for us, and it's coming this week on Dynamite, live from Long Island, New York. I will say that I highly doubt that the new announcement from Tony Khan is having to do with the London show or a London expansion for for AEW, because he was so direct with the intention for information during a podcast appearance for Tony Khan where he discussed the London expansion. So I doubt it is a London announcement, but it could be a new signing. It could be the new show. We will find out this Wednesday night on Dynamite, but it has to be something big to catch the fans' attention after WrestleMania. Speaking of something big, CM Punk did agree in context to a return with Tony Khan to AEW, but that was before the outburst on social media last week. So it is highly doubtful that a return will take place now because of his actions and because of what happened. It is very unlikely that a return will happen now. But it is crazy to think that if Punk did not do what he did on Instagram last week, that he may have returned to AEW. Because the plan was last year for Punk versus MJF to be the full gear match and have Punk drop the belt to MJF. but it turned out to be Mox instead. So it is possible that Tony Khan still wants to do Punk versus MJF 3. And I agree with Jim Ross that I do agree with Jim Ross that CM Punk is an asset to AEW. And also, it's like I've been saying, as long as Punk is under contract with AEW, there is always a possibility he will return. But with that being said, it is time to preview WrestleMania 39, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next video.